Ladies, gentlemen, and lovers, we are so back. We've got a brand new preview with a bunch of really cool features, and we have a safety console now. Smack that like button, and let's talk about it. Our first star of the show today is the mooshroom. After being bugged for what felt like a month long with floating mushrooms above its head, no longer are the mushrooms floating. They're just still so gigantic on Bedrock Edition. Like, compared to Java, the mushrooms up there, they feel like gigantic mountains. Heyo, now hold up. The big update that we're talking about mainly today, we're talking about a little bit more here too, but the main thing we're taking a look at here is Minecraft Preview 26.10.21. Now, just when you thought Mojang finally solved all of the issues with rolling out of the preview, the past few previews had rolled out literally within an hour of their release for me, and it's been like that for a while now. This one took 10 painstakingly painful long hours of me sitting there and tapping the refresh button, all without a single break, experiencing symptoms like loss of appetite and so on, slowly sliding into a state of the distant beyond. Wait a second. Did you see that mushroom a minute ago in the background there? Maybe they're not quite fixed yet. They flash and flicker. Now, our latest preview was actually littered on the low here with a bunch of different leaks. Today, we will kick everything off by checking out our Rainway. As of the recording of this video, nothing has been announced, but new animations have been found inside of the Bedrock Edition files. Now, these animations right here, these are the type of things that we can expect to usually see when there is some kind of event ongoing on Bedrock Edition. Considering how long it's been since our last Bedrock Edition event and Minecraft Live coming up, well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see for sure, but I could foresee an event coming soon. Now, our other animation right here, oh, it's beautiful. We're mining. We get to the golden chest. Wait a second, Mojang. What is that? Is it an update? Please? Look, man, I know it's just an animation, but the idea of a golden chest being in the game, imagine being able to find it in, like, structures or something, the jungle temple. Bro, now that we have a copper one, I wonder how far off we could actually be. But anyway, we've got a miner going ahead, mining and finding the chest, and then a bunch of coins spill out. Maybe it's mine coins, maybe. Worst case scenario, these two brand new beautiful animations are just related to different things inside of the marketplace, but typically these animations relate to new servers or big events. Quite interestingly, so long after this thing's initial release, the zombie horse, its behaviors, they've been tweaked again. Take a look at his poor soul, it's not even freaking out. So the zombie horse, it doesn't really freak out when it gets hurt any longer. I think that one happened last week, but now the zombie horse does not try to avoid sunlight at all. Like, while it's burning, it will just stand around in an open field, not even the baby, no, and just burn and eventually leave. Now, I'm curious here, if a zombie horse will try and walk over to a shadow like a zombie seems to do, no, it won't. According to the changelog here, this change was done to mimic the zombie behavior, so the horse just doesn't care about burning or living. But I swore, at least on Java Edition, the zombie, when it starts to burn, it kind of freaks out and wants to go and, like, you know, find a spot in the shade or something. So alongside our zombie horse, not caring about anything at all, it doesn't even try and go over to water to try and stop the burning. The zombie horse, the skeleton horse, and the camel husk. Well, every single one of these undead monsters right here has new behaviors. The skeleton horse, the camel husk, and the zombie horse. Every single one of these mobs will now try and avoid water when the pathfinder. Every single one of these mobs will also try to avoid dangerous blocks. So things like magma blocks, sweet berry bushes, no longer should they accidentally pathfind on top of them. And then, last but not least, the other direction, rails. Every single one of these mobs no longer cares about rails and pathfinding. That means they should theoretically be able to cross them if they feel like crossing them. Now, weirdly, while shooting this clip right here, I noticed that when you search up zombie inside of the creative inventory, the zombie head is completely glitched, even though no changes have been made to this thing. If I look up skeleton, the same exact thing is happening. The skeleton skull textures are completely broken too. In fact, every single mob head texture has been completely broken inside of this update. I wonder why. When I take one of these things and actually put it down, nothing is weird about that. Like, this is behaving normally, but the texture inside of the inventory, it's weird, at least at first. Okay, so you know how it goes. With our newest update right now, at least so far, all of the rage is all about these baby mobs. Well, now it looks like Mojang has confirmed another gigantic feature coming inside of this update. And this feature, if we're lucky, it could very well affect every single mob in the entire game. It looks like, kind of like we speculated a while ago, an animation overhaul is coming to the game, at least in part. Over here on TikTok this time around, instead of going ahead and getting the community directly involved in the update with hints and teasers, we have random short form videos that are performing nowhere as well as the random hints and teasers did. Ain't it, Mojang? And this one right here, and this really bizarre resolution, I've got to say, but this one, they dropped this on the same day they dropped this preview we're taking a look at, and the snapshot, and would you take a look at these baby mobs? The animations that these mobs are having right here, completely different to anything that we see in the game, and way more full of life. Like this little bee, the polar bear sitting down and nodding, the camel, all right, that's familiar, but every other mob just about. These are completely brand new animations. So here's the weird thing with this update. When we jump over in game and say, get ourselves an adorable brand new baby goat and just watch this thing for a little bit of time, those animations that were being shown off inside of that TikTok, the short, they don't exist. And same thing with the polar bear. I watched this thing for a while, and look, maybe I'm getting insanely unlucky, but I have not seen this thing sit down on its behind quite yet and wiggle its head around in the air. It doesn't seem to happen. However, as documented on the changelog, intriguingly, the baby mob for the armadillo, the baby camel, and the baby fox all have a brand new baby-specific animations. So if I sit around here and wait and watch these animations are animations that do not happen on Java Edition. The baby-specific one, maybe for the camel, is the ears. They're sitting at a completely different angle, they're wiggling around a little bit differently, and then it walks and moves a little bit differently as well. Our baby armadillo, these different animations, maybe how it's walking. It walks way slower on Bedrock than it does on Java, by the way. Then if we run around there, you know, it jumps into the shell and freaks out a little bit. If we wait, the head will pop out. But it's all kind of like the adult armadillo, at least until this thing jumps out of the shell. Watch what happens here. I don't know if that's a glitch or what, but it just kind of plops out. Baby fox animation, watching this thing move around for a little bit of time. It doesn't seem like it does that weird TikTok idle animation. Now our baby llama, those animations that were teased in that TikTok were some of the most impressive ones, with his head going down to eat the grass and everything like that. So look, here's the weird thing. As documented on Bedrock Edition on the changelog here, we have the new baby mobs, the same ones from the Java snapshot, but only the fox, the camel, and the armadillo actually have brand new baby specific animations. The llama, that doesn't exist, and same with these other variants too. However, this Minecraft TikTok right here, we can very clearly see completely different animations that don't seem to exist in the game at all anywhere. There's no way they would add all of these animations, go through all of that trouble of development for a simple short form video. These animations, I would wager, are definitely coming to the game at some point. Now, kind of interestingly here too, actually last week, we had even more different animations showed off that I don't believe are in the game at all anywhere quite yet either. We have a baby turtle kind of idling and waving its head. The squid spinning around, that one might be in the game. And then the most intriguing one, the baby dolphin right here, sitting and going up and down. What the? Dolphins don't do that in the game. With how Mojang is calling this the cutest drop yet, I think the idea of upgrading animations for maybe every single mob in the game, well, that's perfectly in line with the known theme right now. Imagine our mobs having a little bit more life to them in their animations. You know, kind of closer to some of the newer mobs like the camel that have quite a bit of personality. They move around, their ears wiggle, they sit down, they look around. You know, they do a whole lot. Then you compare it to an old mob like, let's say, the cow, and it's just literally standing there, frozen, walks around, and then stands and freezes again. It's so dated looking. Considering that the devs are already working on textures and models, animations really aren't too far off. Also, consider the fact that actions and stuff, which is better animations, and better animations on Java Edition, they are some of the most popular texture packs of all time. And I mean, gosh, if that's not a sign that the community wants something, then I don't know what is. Wait a second, I just noticed that the copper golem on my head, that's a baby copper golem. Oh my god. Next up here, let's take a look at another leak, or I don't know if it's quite a leak, but that's what I'm going to categorize it as. On Bedrock Edition, on mobile, there will be a brand new horse icon for mounting mounts. Coincidentally, this has been added before the Chinese New Year. The Chinese New Year this year is the year of the horse. It's a brand new simple little button for riding mobs. I think the ride button might be old. The horse icon is brand new. It's kind of throwing off the balance of the whole button. The horse doesn't even fit in the button, but hey, I mean, the pixel art is fire. Now, the big thing, kind of the head honcho of this update so far, the singular star, the golden dandelion. At last, on a Bedrock Edition, the golden dandelion has made its way into the game, and functionally, it is exactly the same as it is on Java. Okay, kind of. So I fed the mob the golden dandelion, and I did it again, and there's no sounds. There's no particle effects. You just have to know that you did it. But the golden dandelion will definitely work on every single type of mob in the game. Wait a second, there was a sound that time. It seems like our sounds right now are kind of different than Java 2. Like, that's a little softer sounding, and then again, it's like the same sound both times, but hey, I mean, whatever. Functionality-wise, the idea of preserving babies forever has made its way over to Bedrock Edition, and that's all we care about, baby. Now look, what I'm about to show you could very well throw off the balance of your entire world forever, so use this at your own discretion. But golden dandelion, Bedrock Edition, bone meal. I used one bone meal, and you see how many flowers are created. Like, hold on, check this out. In a survival setting, golden dandelion, bone meal one time. And like 1,000,000 flowers are created, except it uses up multiple bone meal too. Seems like often 3 or so, about every single time. Yeah, so this one, there's no way this is intended. This is absolutely not going to stay into the game by the time the update is finished. You can bone meal these things like crazy and grow tons and tons of these things. Like, way quicker than you can bone meal even any other flower in the entire game. It's actually kind of insane. Also, just about our only particle effects with this new golden dandelion, well, they happen when you bone meal the thing. Now, it's kind of funny, because right now, inside of the changelog here, we have the golden dandelion, and the fact that it works with all of these different mobs, including, wait a second, it's called a snifflet, Mojang. What the heck? Nah, but anyway, we have it in the game, except it literally doesn't work at all how it's meant to. You cannot make suspicious stew. You cannot make yellow dye. There are no particles and sounds. You cannot give it to piglin, and the mobs can't even pick it up. And you can obviously glitch this thing to infinity too, so it's here, but it's so broken, man. Alright, now a question for those of the real intuitive, the locked-in Waddle Watchers that have smashed the like button every single time. Those old gen, maybe even new gen OGs that watch so many videos. Have you noticed anything different about today? Maybe like the performance of the game? Does it feel a little snappier over the duration of this preview video? Because to me, it does. So here, inside of this preview, we have a brand new graphical feature that is being rolled out, so not everybody is going to have it. It's a new texture streaming feature. If you toggle it on, your memory usage should be reduced for certain textures. This is mainly going to help with add-ons and packs. It'll be off by default if you have it, and availability is changing by the day. Now, thankfully here, I was lucky enough to get my hands on a day one. Pause the game, go to settings, slide into video, and then pretty much right at the top of this menu right here, texture streaming. Load textures only when needed to reduce memory usage. This will require a restart. So obviously I have it toggled on, and what I've noticed from messing around with this preview, both while making the video and before making the video, my game feels way more snappier than it was. And I mean, it's kind of funny because my game already felt really snappy over here on Bedrock Edition, but I could notice, especially when not recording, that like the game, when I moved around, the FPS, the frame rate felt way more smooth. Now, obviously, inside of this world, it's a preview world. I don't have a bunch of add-ons loaded into this thing, but wow, even without those things, the game feels so much smoother. That's crazy. Next up here, we've got some intriguing mob AI changes inside of this update, hopefully making these mobs be a little bit smarter. Our first one that I like to take a look at here, it has to do with the villagers, and specifically, their celebrations. Made the schematic for behavior celebrate stricter when parsing. This will fail when there's an invalid data version, lower than the current version. And intriguingly, a very similar change was made to the goat inside of the snapshot as well, with its whole ramming behavior. Now, it's hard because I'm not a Bedrock main, so I'm not as familiar with how these mobs naturally behave on Bedrock Edition. There are some differences to Java, but alongside those changes, we also have some brand new entity components as well that'll allow for pausing of growth items and resetting growth items, as well as being able to control the behaviors of the mobs that maybe use these items. Now, last and maybe least today, it's not really too clear quite yet, the Minecraft Safety Council. So I think this all goes hand in hand with all the chat banning stuff that we've been talking a lot about lately. But we have a brand new Minecraft Safety Council. We've got a blog post here, and then we can see all of the members of the Safety Council. And then we have a couple of words, a little bit of paragraphs talking about the Safety Council. It's not really clear what this thing is for, other than trying to make a safer gaming future for Minecraft and all of the players. Never have I ever read so many paragraphs right here that just leave me confused. So, I don't know, man. The timing of it all, with the brand new head of vanilla Minecraft, the new chat banning stuff, I wonder if this is something Mojang has to do by law, or if this is just something they're deciding to do for fun. They don't really say for sure in here. Anyway though, Bessies, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you all very much for watching. More videos on the end card. Smack that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.